How is YouTube working to help and support you during this coronavirus pandemic? That's kind of what we're talking about on this live stream today. And well, for myself, I live in Maryland, and I've noticed in the past week already there's been closing down of restaurants, stores, gyms, etc. And even when I go for a walk in my neighborhood, people, kind of making a beeline around you instead of like walking straight past you. So people are definitely anxious, and I know that when I consume the news a lot, then my anxiety level goes up. But when I start creating content or doing something creative, then my level of anxiety goes down. So on this live stream, I really want to talk about some of the resources that YouTube provides for us to learn about the coronavirus epidemic. How is it affecting YouTube? Because we know that, and we'll talk about this later, that they're kind of short of staff. So how does that affect us? And then we're going to look also at what some of the YouTube creators are doing. I kind of selected some examples. What creators are doing online using YouTube, and then going to look at 10 ways you can turn this from a disaster into an opportunity, and then look at some of the things that you could do yourself to be constructive, to kind of give back to the public. So those are some of the things I'll be talking about. My name is Herman Drost, and my channel is all about how to grow your audience on YouTube so you can generate traffic, leads, sales, and you can make an impact on thousands of people throughout the world in every single different country. So you just need to take one video that gets out to those people that are, and there's probably many more people online now than there ever was. So what a great opportunity to be able to connect with different people from all different countries and to have a positive impact. So, good to see you, Harley. Haven't seen you for a while, and good to see you back. And you're probably working from home, yeah. So, a lot of people are working from home. So, we're going to look at some of the. First, we're going to look at some of the ways that some YouTubers are making a difference by doing classes, etc. So I'm going to hop over to my slides here, and so we're going to talk about how YouTube is working to help and support you. And I kind of like that thumbnail there that kind of shows it. And then we're going to be looking at these how YouTube creators are sharing their content, 10 ways to turn the disaster into an opportunity. And so here's some YouTubers that they've been doing this for quite a while, but you're probably familiar with some of these. There's Yoga with Adriene. She has millions of subscribers, and she does yoga classes from home. And so, if you wanted to, I think even a lot of them are free. I think the recent one she had was like 30 days to do yoga from your home. Kind of, people started to exercise. They want to exercise in the beginning of the year and get fit. And so she does these classes. And then you got this one I found recently was Kitchen Princess Bamboo, a Japanese lady that mostly her channel's all about cooking. But recently she I was kind of inspired by this, where she created a do-it-yourself face mask. I think I was just using paper and some rubber bands, but I thought it was very creative. And then she also shows the Japanese immune boosting food, some really an easy lunch and some different ways that you can boost your immune system. So I know there's other channels there that talk about, how to boost your immune system, but I thought this was quite kind of unique way to do it. And then we also got what's this one here? Katie Morgan talking about coronavirus anxiety. So a lot of people are anxious and trying to keep calm during this time. And so she's talking about that. And then this is one of my subscribers, or one of my Facebook members, that called The Peaceful Place. And um, she actually has music, classical music, and sounds of waterfalls, tropical rainforest, etc. So you could just put on that video on YouTube for like several hours. I think about 4 hours. That first one there, the peaceful waterfall, 8 hours and 22 minutes. Luck of the Irish, 2 hours. Peaceful music concentration, 4 hours. So the peaceful waterfall, I like that one. So I had that in the background last week. So that's really good to kind of calm your nerves and have something playing in the background. And there's other people that have meditation classes. Provide meditation, exercise classes. We'll kind of get into that a bit later, just showing you examples. And then of course there's the CDC website. If you look at the channel, the video page, then automatically the CDC card is actually under the video. But so that CDC providing great information there. But what are some of the ways that YouTube is helping? Besides these examples from YouTube creators. So I kind of pulled some of these, or found some of these resources here. Um, the if you have a YouTube channel, then in the channel analytics, so I think actually the YouTube Studio, you'll find the latest news about COVID-19, all the latest updates. So they have a blog post there on the March the 16th. And so they're keeping up with the latest updates. And then this is a little card that, if you talk about the coronavirus disease in your video, then automatically that card is displayed right under your video. So you'll notice that on my live stream video, you'll have that card, or anybody that's talking about it, they'll show that displayed under the video. So I think that's pretty cool. And this is what I discovered actually just today, is this website, or not this website, this channel, that with the hashtag with me. And so, if you're talking about YouTube's encouraging people to stay home, well, the general instructions is to self-isolate yourself and have social distancing. But so they kind of created this hashtag with me, and then they got these different examples on this channel. Join with me, cook with me, exercise with me, etc. So showing all these different things that people are doing. So what they're saying is saying, if you choose to use YouTube to share content urging people to stay home, hashtag stay home, consider videos that are helpful, fun, and informational, and tag stay home with me, stay home, cook with me, etc. All these things. So maybe I'll add that hashtag after this live stream. But I think that's a great idea. And let's see what I got here. Oh, here's a Google address. So I think it's YouTube too. Well, actually, it's YouTube. latest updates for COVID-19. So you probably even see this on the YouTube channel, but here you can see I think the latest is like March 19th, which I just shared you there. This is where I took this notice here. This was actually for the 19th, was that today? Yeah, it's today. But yeah, so they give the latest updates here, and I'm going to talk a little bit about that in the future slides here. But if you go to that particular website, the g.co/YT COVID-19, then you get all the latest updates that YouTube is staying on top of. And then I just saw this the other day where live streaming, and I'll talk a little bit about that later, but here was the Pope not, live streaming from within the Vatican to, to all the population there. So I think live streaming has become more popular. Online meetings, I'm sure Zoom is getting more popular, and all the live streaming apps. And I'll talk a little bit about that later, the ways that you could live stream. But this was the Vatican live streaming. Then this is the YouTube Learning Hub. So a lot of kids are stuck at home. My daughter, she's in Oklahoma, and she teaches second grade, and all the schools have closed down. Same here in Maryland. And they said that they're probably going to open the schools again in, I think, end of April. But I think that's, unless things change, that's probably not going to happen. And so a lot of parents, a lot of teachers are thinking, how can they teach remotely to their classes? So I'm sure that parents are very concerned about that, and also teachers, because they want to they really feel for the kids and want to teach them effectively. So this YouTube Learning Hub is a great place for tips for studying at home, and all other kinds of different tips, like best scientific study tips, and focus and concentration, how to study more effectively, how to stay focused, all these things. So I think that's really helpful. And then Google has this campaign, this ad campaign, Do the Five, how to stop the coronavirus, hands, wash your hands, cough into your elbow, don't touch your face, stay more than 3 feet apart. If you feel sick, stay home. So they're doing this ad campaign to get the word out. Then recently, when the coronavirus first struck, then people started making videos giving their particular angle about it related to their niches, mentioning coronavirus. And as a result of that, because it was a sensitive topic, and I think in the YouTube policy, they do talk about, I guess, natural disasters, or it might be infectious diseases or global diseases. But, they don't want people taking advantage of that when sort of an outbreak occurs. But recently they changed their minds because they realize that this is an ongoing thing. It might last weeks, months, going into the future. So they said, we will now enable ads for content discussing the coronavirus on a limited number of channels, including creators who accurately self-certify and a range of news partners. So I haven't monetized this video, but maybe I'll self-certify this particular live stream and just see what happens. But I'm not really concerned about making a few pennies from this by monetizing this particular video. But when I thought about a live stream topic, I thought originally was going to talk about just live streaming in general, but then I saw all these particular reports on YouTube talking about monetization and then the resources and what different people were doing. So I think a lot of people that are running channels or people that are using YouTube or starting YouTube or thinking about starting YouTube are probably very curious about, what is YouTube doing? What is Google doing? So we hear a lot of things being discussed, but I thought I'd put sort of a range of these things together to give you an idea of what is actually being done. So these are just some of the things that I picked up. And if you know other things that YouTube is doing that I haven't mentioned, then yeah, definitely put that in the chat. If you're watching a replay, put that in the comments, because more people know about what YouTube is doing, Google is doing, the better. Hi, Ali, good to see you. Ali's a nurse, so you can ask any health questions, I guess. But I think the great thing about the healthcare workers that they are really like. I think somebody said that they're like the thin white line. I think you got the police, which is a thin blue line, but the healthcare workers are like really putting themselves out there. Taking the brunt of what's needed today. Okay, moving along. So this was about monetization. So YouTube changed their mind about that because they see that this pandemic is not just going to last a few days, but it's going to be lasting several weeks or even longer. And then we've got the Google Trends. And if you go into Google Trends and put in there coronavirus, you'll see a huge sudden curve, a steep curve going up based upon the interest. So usually when I go into Google Trends, I'm looking for, hot trends in my niche, what I could possibly talk about or what I could, approach from a different angle. And so you get like maybe a little bit of a steep curve or might be a tiny bit of a steep curve, but in this case it's a huge, very steep curve. So a lot of people talking about it, but also to give you information here. So talking about what coronavirus is, how did it start, what is it, how do people get tested, how to treat it, etc. So also a great source of information. So then also they talk about harmful content because there's a lot of disinformation being put out there. So I heard that people are using, getting or advertising masks or vitamins or different things that are not really true, and therefore, or maybe conspiracy theories about coronavirus. So if YouTube catches that, or they want to catch it through machine learning, so if they detect potentially harmful content, then it's sent to human reviewers for assessment. So the downside of that is that as a result of the new measures that YouTube is taking, they said that they'll start relying more on technology to help with the work rather than by the reviewers. So that means their automated systems will start removing some of the content without human review. So it's possible that, and this has happened before, that as YouTube relies more on machine learning, that's like this happens with the kids content. When YouTube clamped down on kids content, then a lot of channels that were showing videos of kids games and that sort of thing, then a lot of other channels were caught up in that. So that might happen the same here, but the whole idea is to kind of protect the public from misinformation, harmful content, etc. So they're saying that users and creators may see increased video removals, including some videos that may not violate the policies. So they said they won't issue the strikes on the content except in cases where there's a high confidence that it's violative. And then if something like that happens and you get accidentally your video gets removed or flagged, then it said if creators think that their content was removed in error, they can appeal the decision and our teams will take a look. So, and that also applies to appeals. So say you get a strike on your channel, then or you reach the 4,000 watch hours and 1,000 subscribers, then to monetize your channel, normally it takes a month to for the review process, but it might take longer because because they're now using more relying upon the machine learning and instead of human reviews. So that's kind of what they are talking about there. But I think the whole point is that they're trying to cut down on misinformation and want to try to get out the right information so people don't get confused about what's happening. Ladybug T saying I learned a lot about YouTube from TFS. I don't know what that is. Oh, and Ali was saying here, made a video with coronavirus title, but mostly focused on affiliate marketing. What if it still affect my channel? Yeah, I think you have to be very careful talking about. Actually, when I first started thinking about should I do it or should I not do it, then I thought, well, if it's for the sake of educating people about the resources available on YouTube, then I think it's definitely worth while getting information out there and letting people know what YouTube is doing, and also how you can take that opportunity to educate people. So I think in your case, Ali, I don't know, I didn't see, I don't know if I watched your video, but if you can, give an angle that during this time when you're stuck at home, maybe you want to make some extra cash, and you can do that through affiliate marketing on YouTube. So I think it's really the way that you word it, the way that you get it across. Okay, and so let's look at some of the ways to turn the disaster into an opportunity. So, so I thought it was a great way. A lot of people stuck at home, and they're probably thinking, instead of watching reruns of Friends, maybe I can be productive and start a YouTube channel and maybe give some tips on my exercise routine or immune boosting foods or different things like that. So I think starting a YouTube channel is very productive, very creative. And I've noticed that, when you start creating videos, then your level of anxiety and stress goes down. So instead of consuming the news and then you get all anxious about it, it's better to do more creative stuff than consuming stuff. And in live stream events, I showed you before the Pope giving the live stream there, and I'm live streaming today. But my church also recently they canceled the services in the building, and then they live streamed last Sunday, and I think a lot of worship services, or maybe you have a church that doesn't know how to do it, but you can, a lot of us have the expertise or the knowledge how to set up live streaming. So a great service that you could offer is, like I use Ecamm Live to live stream here, but you can live stream just on using your iPhone. You can live stream just using the live stream on Facebook, or you can live stream from your computer. So, and you can do that. You can live. I think you need for the mobile live streaming from your phone, you have to have 1,000 subscribers. But if you live stream just using your webcam or camera, then you can do it for free, live streaming on YouTube. So you don't actually need any software. Also, you can start a video podcast. So you can even take your video and extract the audio from it, extract the MP3 part of it, and then put that on iTunes, all those podcast sharing sites, or vice versa. You could do both. You could have your video. You could put your video podcast on YouTube, as well as have your podcast. Create online exercise classes. So you have the fitness people. A lot of people they closed the gyms. So another way is to, I think who was it doing it? I read the other day that somebody, trying to remember the name, but they said that people could take the exercise machines. Some of them can take the machines home and exercise at home. So I think some of these gyms, they want to keep them going, and people have paid for the classes. So why not do exercise, strength training or whatever in online? Then we also got meditation classes. So a lot of people are very anxious, have no idea how to meditate. When I first started meditating, this is a long way back, but you can't kind of, sometimes you get like a rush of ideas for new videos. Like even this morning, I think I woke up like 3 o'clock and had all these new ideas for videos going into the future. And I was trying to tell my mind to shut down, but it wouldn't shut down. Just more ideas kept pouring in. So I thought, well, the only way I can do it is to kind of meditate. So I started meditating on the ocean and forest and that sort of thing. And then my mind calmed down, and eventually I could get back to sleep. But so especially at this time that people are anxious, meditation is another way, taking meditation classes, yoga classes, or if you're into meditation, you can offer those classes through live streaming or YouTube videos, just setting up a channel. Okay, here's some other ideas. What about cooking classes? If you're, like I showed you, that Japanese cooking channel, maybe you're really good at baking cakes or something like that. So you could do that, hold a cooking class. I had a client the other day that was in Singapore, and he said, they're pretty much shut down there, and all their brick and mortar businesses were wondering how to continue their business, and a lot of them are not online. So he was asking, he actually has his own job, but then he comes home early, and he was thinking, how can I help these brick and mortar businesses to sell their stuff online or offer services? So he wants to offer social media marketing services, web design services, video creation services, etc. And the interesting thing I found about it was that he's using a company in America, like a web services company, to do all the work. And what he wants to do is to find a way to contact these brick and mortar businesses, and then they can sell or promote their business, their products online. And the funny thing was, it was from Singapore. I thought, well, maybe you should just target city, but then he was kind of laughing because Singapore is very small and only takes like 30 minutes to travel across the country. So it's just the capital of Singapore is Singapore, and that's probably the biggest city there. So that's I think that's a great way if you want to help local businesses. Is if you have spare time, you can help them out with how to sell their products online, how to set up a website, help with social media marketing, etc. Help teachers teach remotely so students can learn remotely. So I was talking to my daughter the other day as a teacher, and she's already thinking that maybe the class is not going to return to normal for weeks or months. Right now the schools are closed, but how is she going to teach her kids if the schools are closed for well, of course they have holidays, summer holidays I think come up in May or June, but that's still a ways away. So um, so what are some resources, or maybe you can even set up a YouTube channel where just the kids could log into YouTube and go to your channel, and you can just teach them through through live streaming. If you wanted to do it more privately, you could even use Patreon. Patreon's like a membership. It's not really part of YouTube, but it's integrated with YouTube. So you could set up a membership site where you can offer free membership. Have free members, and you can do it all privately. You wouldn't be able. If you do it on YouTube, you're going to get all those ads and everything. So Patreon would be another way um, to do that. Okay. Another way is building entertain and be more social. So I think that at this time it's funny because yesterday I was running around the lake, my local lake, and then a couple of girls were at in the gazebo that's on the edge of the lake, and they were dancing and have kind of like coordinated dancing. And as I ran past, I gave them a thumbs up and saying, "Hey, thanks for bringing lifting up the spirits of people that are walking around the lake." So entertaining people, you could create entertaining videos. Um, I think also being more social. So I think it's a great time that you could even build up your audience on YouTube, build up your audience on Instagram or Pinterest or some of these social media sites, because more people are at home and more people are online. So, and on the other hand, maybe a lot of people are feeling anxious and don't want to do anything online. So, therefore, it might be an opportunity to build up your audience. Take advantage. Maybe your competitors are not so active, but you can be more active. And so, building up your audience. So when this is all over, you've got a big audience. And then somebody was saying yesterday that, like, I'm running a YouTube video ads campaign, and I've noticed that the cost of the ads has gone down because uh, you know I think this seems like less, you're paying less. So I think it may be a great time that you can even build up your audience using Facebook ads, YouTube ads, because you can get them real cheap now and take advantage of that. Uh, oh, you have some comments here. World of Aviation, good to see you. Why so many unaccountable channels on YouTube exist? How I make $10,000 per month or day? How I make 10,000? Yeah, I think I always go through the filter. World of Aviation. If it's too good to be true, then it probably isn't. So, but I know there's people that are making these huge claims, or sometimes you see them driving or standing in front of a Lamborghini or something. For me, it kind of throws me off. But I guess you'll always get those type of people. Oh yeah, and Ali was saying here that the economy will really suffer. Yeah, well, it's I have some stocks, and they definitely took a dive over the last couple of weeks, so lost a lot of money there. But the good thing is that the president is getting his team together and injecting um, a stimulus package. I think recently he was talking about everybody gets $1,200 per individual. So my wife will get $1,200, and then the next month you get another 1,200. So hey, I don't. I could do with the money, so I could do some repairs, but I'm kind of surprised that they're giving away that much money. But I can see that it's definitely necessary for those people that are, servers in restaurants or being laid off, etc. Definitely need an injection. On Sherry Smith, good to see you, Sherry, is saying that I create PowerPoint for my students to learn English. This would help teachers to teach their lessons. Yeah, I know that a friend of mine teaches English to Chinese students and different ones around the world online. I think there's even a company for that. But yeah, I think that's a great way. Actually, one of my Facebook members, what's his name? He's a Canadian, and I think, yeah, he's been teaching online English to students all over the world from, I think, outside on his farm. And he's got, his channel really took off as a result of that. So, great way to use YouTube for teaching English. Okay, so I talked about building your audience, also making true connections. So I think a lot of people, if they're self-isolated, or maybe people that are not married, don't have a family, that so they're kind of stuck inside, then they're going to miss that social connection. And people are social, people are gregarious, so they need that human connection. So build when you're building your audience, take time to make true connections with people. Through like live streaming is great, and maybe through email, through Instagram, direct messages, etc., all that kind of thing. So I think it's a great way to make good connections with people around the world. Another thing you can do is also give back by reducing prices. So I'm thinking that I'm looking at my products that I have for sale. I'm probably going to do like, sort of like a slash price, and just to sort of give back, and because a lot of people have less money. So then it's a good time that you could maybe for the first time that you ever created your product, you could slash your price to make it easy for people to if you're teaching them something, to give them a special deal. So um, instead of price gouging, like when there's no gas at the gas stations, or people putting up the price of toilet paper, you do the great thing and go in the opposite direction and slash your prices. So that's kind of giving back. I was looking at the news this morning, and there was a guy that came into a restaurant, I think 300 people or so, and I guess he had a lot of cash, but he went in there and gave each of the people in the restaurant a $100 bill. So it was like, they showed a picture of them, they were smiling ear to ear. So a way that you could give back, a way that you give back is ordering food to come to your house, so you can help out a restaurant in your local area. You could start up a Facebook group, for your local community, different things like that. Oh, excuse me, somebody's calling. All right, moving on. Let's see. So reducing prices here. So, and then live streaming. So these days, I mentioned before, you can live stream from your computer, from your phone, from your webcam, etc. So I just want to show you a quick way. I think I got a quick way that you can live stream from your phone. Let me have a look here. So I've got a little video clip here taken from one of my videos on how you can use your webcam to go live. So you can do it for free from your computer. So I'm going to play this, so it's probably a couple of minutes. Log into YouTube channel, click the camera icon that says create a video or post, click go live. Now you've got stream beta, manage and webcam. Select webcam, enter your title, select your privacy settings. It should be public, anyone can search for and view, unlisted, anyone with the link can view, private, only you can view. I'm going to select unlisted for this demonstration. You can also schedule this live stream for later. Just move the slider to the right, select the date, and you can select the time. I'm going to go live now, so I'm going to move the slider to the left to turn it off. Click more options. I can schedule for later, which I just showed you. And here you can add your description, which I've added already. You want to select your category, so I'm going to select how to style, and also you want to select your webcam. Instead of my FaceTime camera, which doesn't work, I'm selecting my ProStream webcam, which is a Logitech webcam. You can also select your mic, so click the drop down here. You've got an internal microphone, blue snowball, and my ProStream webcam. So I'm using my blue snowball, which I'll show you later. It's just a USB connection. If I click advanced settings, then I can allow chat. I can enable age restriction. I can select this video contains paid promotions such as paid product placement, sponsorships, or endorsement. So I'm not doing any of that, so I'm going to leave that off. Click the arrow to go back. Click next. Now I'm going to smile, take a thumbnail. Okay, looks pretty good. Keep in mind you can always change the thumbnail later for a custom thumbnail. If I click this pencil icon, I can edit my live stream data. So I can just check through it all again. So I just click save. So I've saved the settings, and now I'm already set to go live. Let's see what happens. Going live. Hey everyone, this is a test live stream to see how my Logitech webcam is working and how to go live without 1,000 subscribers from your desktop computer. As you notice at the top left here, I've got how long the live stream is going, how many people are on the live stream, so it's only just myself. Then down here on the right, I've got my live chat stream, so I can say anything I like. I'll say, how are you? Then I just tap this button here. Then you can see the chat appears at the top. At the top here it says live chat. If I click the three dots, I've got participants, I've got the pop-out chat, and toggle time span. So if I click participants, I've just got myself. If I do the pop-out chat, I got a pop-out chat that appears on the left. I can move that anywhere around on my desktop. since live chat is on the right, then I'm just going to leave it like that. I don't need a pop-out. Oh, down the bottom here, you can check your mic. So you can turn it off or on. If I click this arrow, you can send the URL of my live stream to the social media sites like here. I can also embed it and I can copy it. After I finish the live stream, I can just click End Live Stream. Are you sure you want to end your live stream? Click End. So you can see how easy it is to go live, you don't need 1,000 subscribers. You can just go directly live from just on YouTube. You just, click to go live and then off you go. So I just want to show you that because a lot of people think, they need special software, they need a certain number of subscribers, etc. But you don't really need that. Okay, so, and then I wanted to just show you, this was a friend of mine that came up with this idea about, hey, at this special time in human history that probably will never happen again and hopefully will never happen again, why not write a memoir of your coronavirus experience? So I'm thinking about asking these questions between my wife and myself, record it for the sake of my kids, down the road, because they were, they're around at this time. But I think it's a good time to, what were you thinking? What was happening? So I put the this worksheet in the description below this video, so you can download it for yourself, and then you can download it for yourself, and then you can record it yourself or do it with a friend, etc. But I thought it might be kind of useful. So you kind of wonder, what kind of questions could I ask, etc. But I think it's a great way to record a memoir or something for at this time in history, for the sake of history. So if you have any questions about what YouTube is doing, or my question to you would be, what is it that how would you use YouTube, or how are you using YouTube to make it through this time, or use it as an opportunity to be creative, to give back, to make a difference, etc. So if you have any ideas, put them in the chat or you put them in the comments.